Welcome to April's Garage. There's a new way to steal cars, and it's kind of freaking us out. The thief actually pretty much gets the keys, no, literally gets the keys handed to them.
Mm-hmm. So let's say your Buick Grand National needs to get shipped somewhere.
Right.
And before, to save money, you would put it out on Central Dispatch, or you'd use a broker, and they would put it out on Central Dispatch.
Right.
I used a broker all the time to ship cars.
Right.
And this broker will go on dispatch, they'll find a truck, the truck will pick it up, and then they're supposed to deliver it to their destination, but they don't.
Right.
They come pick up the car, they get the keys, and then they just disappear with the car. And there's a couple of ways that they've been doing this. Number one, which in the case of this story, I think, which you found.
This story breaks my heart. It's a Rolls-Royce Dawn, which is kind of like a Wraith but convertible.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Gorgeous, just stunning car. $300,000. This man, actually businessman, bought it with his business partner. I don't know, why do you buy cars like that in a business deal?
Yeah.
He was in Michigan, bought the car in Florida, had it sent to transit, but it didn't make it to Detroit.
Somehow it was going to be going from Florida to Detroit instead. It's gone.
Did you just hurt my GN?
It's fine.
Over there?
It bounced. There's the dog down there. It bounced at the dog.
Yeah.
But, yeah, sorry, Frank.
It's almost, I mean, I don't want to say terrifying because there's a lot of worse things that can happen, but imagine that happening to a car that you love, a car that you've worked really hard to have, your dream car.
You spent a lot of money on it.
You spent tons of money on it, and what are you supposed to do?
And since you just bought it and you handed the guys the keys, a lot of times insurance doesn't play ball because you didn't have possession of the car, or maybe you didn't call and add it to your insurance yet. It's a very sticky scenario as far as making insurance claims as well. With this one, they hacked another transporter's account.
Right.
And got into it that way. But another way to do it is just to buy a transportation number that's being used on Central Dispatch, say a trucking company that goes out of business because they go out of business every week because transporting cars is not a profitable business on Central Dispatch. It's a race to the bottom. Whoever gets the lowest gets the car.
Right.
They take that and they use it to steal as many cars as they can before it gets shut down by Central Dispatch. So VinWiki Ed just had someone do a story where the Rolls-Royce Cullinan got shipped to Mexico.
What?
They spent $300,000 on a Rolls-Royce, never got it. It ended up in Mexico. There's pictures of it all over social media. It got wrapped a different color, but it has a very distinct interior. It's obviously the Cullinan. Somebody bought it who's on social media talking about how amazing it is. It's been VIN swapped.
Right.
They're going to Mexico.
Right.
And they're becoming cartel and other just people who don't care as cars.
Right. Well, and that's what they're saying. They don't go to like a chop shop and get parted out. What they do with these cars is they instantly try to get it overseas and make it disappear and remove any sort of GPS tracking location in the car. They find that. That also happened with a Mercedes GLS 600 Maybach and a Rolls-Royce Cullinan, like you were talking about. The hacker got into the driver's portal for Dealer's Choice Auto Transport Service and just rerouted the cars.
Right.
So it was a real company, and they just got in there and rerouted the cars, and there was no kind of back checking to see if that was actually supposed to be happening.
A lot of times the shipper picking it up and dropping it off doesn't know necessarily. Like they're dropping it off where it's supposed to. There could be an innocent party involved as far as the transporters sometimes, where they're just picking up a job because if somebody hacks it, then they can reroute it to a different driver to deliver it to a different spot, and the driver who's transporting it doesn't even know.
Right.
So it's a really scary thing, and I am a little freaked out because I'm supposed to ship my Bugatti to Miami, to Florida for the concourse. So
in March.
I'm not using my typical transportation method for everything else for that car. I'm just using a big name transporter.
Right.
And paying the big money for it. Like
but what happened to this previous Cullinan is they went in to this actual company and changed the route as it was on its way.
But it's still a broker, so they don't own their trucks. These people own their trucks, and they set up their own routes with their own trucks, and that's how they're able to control the cars. Because
Right.
obviously, if you're just a broker and I have, XYZ transport company, I'm still brokering out some cars to other transporters to get things done. Because even if I do own a couple of trucks, you're not going to have a truck going from Florida to New York, pick up a car in California.
Right.
So you're going to take care of the customer, but you're going to use a different truck.
Right.
So that's the issue there. These people 100% operate their own trucks. They don't go outsourcing anything at all. And they're the big ones that do it.
Do you have any tracking devices, like in the actual truck driver's cab?
Putting an air tag in that thing, 1,000%.
Right.
But still, like, if it starts heading south instead of going to Florida and it starts going to Texas, I'm not catching the truck in time.
Right.
There's no
what
way
are
I'm
you
catching the
supposed to
truck.
do?
So you're smoked.
Right.
But I'm using McCollister because they have their own trucks, the most reasonable. But yeah, reliable is very, very expensive, but same thing. And there's Shaughnessy. There's a few others that
Right.
own their own trucks, and that's basically the only way to safely ship an exotic now. But you're going to be paying, instead of $1,000 to ship it from Florida to Michigan, or $1,500, you're paying $3,000. And right now, it's absolutely, I think, imperative to do so until they do something to stop basically these cars going into Mexico. Because right now they're pretty focused on stopping things from coming from Mexico into the border.
Right.
But the stuff getting stolen out of the U.S. and going out, they're just waving the cars through the border.
Right.
You got all the paperwork, okay, all right, cool.
Right.
There's no checks or anything like that. When really, I think the only way to fix this is if there's an expensive car to transport, say, has to have a declared value on the car, and they have to open up the trailer and look. And obviously, if it's a high-end car, they have to check the VIN
Right.
and make sure the VIN's not modified. And even if it's not reported stolen, how does it? Because there's no way for them to check if it's not reported stolen yet. Because a lot of these people are just sitting there
Sure.
waiting for the cars to show up.
Right.
They think it's coming. They don't know it's stolen yet, and they're out through Mexico. So how do you?
I don't know, but
how do you catch it? You
They
can't,
don't know who's liable. It's, not the person who purchased the car, not the dealer. They're saying that the actual transport company is liable for that loss.
But a lot of transport companies are out of business. They just buy the transport number, or the ones that get hacked, and they lose a Cullinan. They're just filing for bankruptcy. They're not gonna
Right.
eat this, and their insurance company's not gonna eat it.
Right.
They'll just disappear.
There's no solution.
There's no solution.
At
So
the moment.
by the time they cross the border, the people don't even know they're stolen yet. So there's really, and you can't really do like a waiting period of
Right.
like expensive cars waiting at the border before they cross. So
So are you going to
there's-
camp out inside the trailer with your Bugatti on the way to Miami?
like Ed Bullion's solution is just to drive his cars everywhere.
Right.
I've never known him to use a transporter except in extreme situations.
Right.
And usually he just does it one way, like when the car's not drivable,
Mm-hmm.
he'll ship it to the place to get fixed, and then he'll drive it
Because
home.
he's worried about the transporters getting hacked?
He likes driving cars.
Right.
And he doesn't like transporters, and stuff happens, and he thinks it's safer to
Right.
drive cross country. So he literally had a Diablo SV that he bought from Japan.
Right.
He can't drive it across the ocean, obviously, so it got shipped into the port, and then shipped from California to Las Vegas, where the repair shop was, to fix it, paint it, all that stuff. And then once it was done, he drove a Diablo SV, not a comfortable car, from Vegas to
No.
Atlanta, Georgia.
Did he
whatever.
fit in it? He's a big guy.
That's like 25, 30 hours of driving, and he's a couple inches taller than me. Like that's how nuts he is.
He's crazy.
And no music the entire time he's driving. That's the
I
other
love
part.
that
Is
about
like
him.
he doesn't listen to anything when he's driving. Just total silence in his own thoughts.
It's amazing.
Just going down the road. It is psycho.
Now,
Psycho.
Ed makes perfect sense in my mind.
Right.
That would be the only way.
But I don't think he has a solution for this. I don't think
Right.
anybody knows what to do. And Central Dispatch, who is the broker
Right.
that is handling millions of transports a day when it comes to autos, maybe not millions, but thousands, they don't know what to do. They're just,
Right. Well, maybe you have a suggestion. Leave it in the comment. I don't have one at the moment.
Don't
Here's
ship your
Tyler.
exotic car through a broker.
Do what Ed does and drive it yourself.
Drive it yourself or pay the money. But I'm going to take the risk when it comes to the Bugatti because I don't want to drive it cross country already. So I'm going to ship it. The Miami Concourse is going to be really cool
Right.
because the Bugatti will be with a lot of other Bugattis. They're celebrating the 20th anniversary of the Veyron.
That's so
And so they're
cool.
going to line up a bunch along with a lot of
Like
other
a
exotics.
bunch, are we talking like 5, 10? We're not sure.
I don't know exactly, but it'll be
Yeah.
a large gathering. There's only 450 in the world. So the one thing that will be certain, I will be the poorest Bugatti owner there by a zero. A zero.
But do you guys all walk through them and say like, mine's better, this one's cooler? Like, do you guys kind of compete within your Veyrons?
I don't know what a Bugatti measuring contest is going to be, but it sounds like fun.
Okay, good.
Because my spec is unique as
Yeah.
far as the blue. People seem to like the exterior of mine, but not the interior. And Ed's,
Yeah.
they're just like, whatever reason, why not have a loud spec of a Bugatti? But for some reason, people are
Right.
offended by Ed's red
I
everywhere
love
spec.
Ed's red Bugatti with the wheels, the red wheels. I think it was gorgeous. It stands out.
But Ed will be there. He's going to drive his down from Atlanta. And yeah, it's at the Biltmore Hotel on the concourse grass and all that stuff. So it will be very schmancy. There'll be an auction with it, a classic car auction.
Right.
And so there'll be a lot to do in Miami. It'll be warm. And we'll be there filming and doing some stuff. And I do know that they have a ticket discount, which we can put in
yeah.
the link to this video if you want to buy tickets and see us there, see the car there. So that way, if you want to go to the show and meet up with us, yeah, they'll have a little bit of a discount.
Yeah, that'd be great to see you. And hopefully Tyler's Bugatti gets there and isn't rerouted halfway.
Hopefully you're out of your knee wrap and in a
I'll be limping.
nice bikini wrap.
Call it a bikini wrap. No, I'll be limping. I'll do a little pimp walk, but we'll be there together.
Yeah.
You might be carrying me around a little. Thanks for watching.